Yeah, may I speak to Mason Wallace? I missed his call. I was on the other line with somebody.
Yes, let me go ahead and transfer your call, ma'am.
Thank
One
you.
moment.
Mm-hmm.
This is Walker.
Yes, this is she.
Yes, I had you scheduled for 2:30. So when you called, I wasn't done with my meeting. So
Oh.
I called you back, but finally we're getting through this. Mrs. Walker, I'm going to be very brief. Okay, first of all,
Mm-hmm.
I have another appointment here at 3 o'clock, so we still have
Mm-hmm.
about 15 minutes. So I'm going to be very brief.
Mm-hmm.
In order for us to be able to proceed with submitting a sort of a class action lawsuit and process a legal investigation through this, we're going to need information from the people who got in touch with you. We're going to need names, phone numbers. According to the case number you've given me, you've lost over $100,000. Is that right?
Yeah, and we already spoke to the police. We already turned over everything that we had, and apparently the phone numbers and the names were all fake. The guy said his name was Andrew Goldberg, and apparently his name is not that. And they've got all that information, so I don't know, if that was his real name, Andrew Goldberg, I don't know what you can do with that information if it's a fake name.
Well, it's not really that. Having access to the phone numbers. Okay, ma'am, listen.
Hmm.
Uh, Behind closed doors, we work with hackers. Okay, so what does a hacker can do?
These scammers can really hurt you, so I'm teaming up with the sponsor of today's video, Aura. As some of you know, scammers tried to use my social security number twice to get a Bank of America credit card. AT&T also just had a massive data breach. Aura simplifies the process of opting out of data broker sites on your behalf. In 2022, Americans lost $10.3 billion to online crime. Aura has already helped me identify several threats I was unaware of, including that AT&T data breach. Aura is easy to set up too. Just one app will give you an antivirus, password manager, and a VPN, and $1 million in identity theft insurance. You can get all of this with my link, aura.com/scambait. My link will offer a 14-day free trial with a 60-day money-back guarantee. See how much of your data is being sold. Make sure you go to the link in the description to start your protection today.
A hacker has access to break through the actual block of the phone, and we can trace the phone. Even though the phone might be disconnected, even though it doesn't work, we can trace where that line was connected through the last voice over IP antenna. And since it goes through the internet, it's easy to go through that access. But that's the reason I'm telling you. Financial institutions, they're not willing to pay for that because it costs money. Right now, we
Is
here
that
in
legal?
conjunction.
Is that legal? I want to make sure it's okay to do that.
Well, if we process a class action lawsuit because you're the victim here, evidently it's legal because all you're trying to do here is recover your money from crooks who stole it from you.
Well,
So you're not doing anything illegal here. You're just going through. Okay. Let's say, for example, you're a person. Let's keep it. I don't know how this people from fraud detection got crossed with you. Maybe they had a report or something.
I don't know.
But for example, we work with a lot of wealthy people, with a lot of wealthy organizations that sometimes get hacked, and with people from different locations all over the world. So if you go to, believe me, these big corporations, they're not going to go to a local police. They're not going to go to a local financial institution to have them investigate. No, they're going to pay for a private investigation. They're going to pay because they have money to do so, right? So that's the type of people we work with. So these organizations, which are multi-million-dollar organizations, they don't really care on spending $200,000, $300,000, $500,000 on a legal class action lawsuit on someone who actually took, let's say, $3 million that hacked into their accounts. So, this is the I know we're talking about different amounts of money here, but this is the type of service that we have and we work with in conjunction with Consumer Affairs. As a United States consumer, you have the right to receive this sort of protection if it's being signed up directly through Consumer Affairs. Since Consumer Affairs already has a case number for you, that's the reason it's forwarded to us, because we're the law firm in charge of gathering information. Now, you're telling me that this information was given, you said, to the local police department over there in Texas?
And then the FBI too, I guess, apparently, I guess, because it was international, and these people were located in Jamaica, I guess. That's
Okay,
why.
but when you did the wire, did it go to Jamaica?
Oh no, it was here in the States. It was here to a bank in the States.
Here to the bank in the States. So, I mean, it makes it a lot easier to process the tracing, I mean, to be honest with you, which is what the FBI, they're not going to do that because it's cost them money and you're not going to pay them. So they're just going to tell you, well, it's kind of difficult and you might not collect your money. And because I know these sort of things,
Mm-hmm.
but it doesn't mean that there's not a possibility. But, Mrs. Walker, right now the ball is in your hands. I mean, it's hard for me to help you if you don't have any information on hand.
Well,
I mean,
you
you
said
don't have.
this is a class action lawsuit, not a regular lawsuit? Because I know what a class action lawsuit is.
Correct.
Okay.
Class action lawsuit, because we have to verify if they're related to any sort of corporation.
And how much does this cost?
You don't have to pay for this, ma'am. Like I said, we are paid by Consumer Affairs. Consumer Affairs, we have a contract with them, a yearly contract, which is renovated yearly between $1.3 million to $2 million yearly.
Oh, well, I mean,
Yes.
I guess you could call the FBI, and maybe they could give you the information because they took all of that. They took the bank information, they took they took down the person's name, which wasn't really a real name. So maybe that's why they said we'd never get our money back because they used an alias. And
Okay, and let me ask you, Mrs. Walker. I mean, I mean, are you aware if you were really an actual? Because I mean, I've worked with cases like this before, and in a lot of cases, the reason these people have access to information of yours is because they know that you've been participating into maybe a sweepstakes contest, and sometimes these sweepstakes contests are legitimate. Sometimes the sweepstakes company is trying to notify you, and maybe that notification letter is stolen, so they have access to your information. Your information is sold out to telemarketers. Now, have you ever received a letter through the mail or something notifying you about an award that you might think that this is how these people had access to you? Because that's my concern here is because in cases that we've worked through before, sometimes people have become targets because they actually won a real award. There's actually an award out there, right? So are you aware of something like this? Are you aware? Has there any letter been sent out to you or any information? Have you verified through the gaming control board or any verification to them? Are you aware of
no,
anything?
we never got any notification of any kind. They said they were with Mega Millions, so we called the Texas Mega Millions, and they said we didn't win anything. And
Well, you
it's
see,
just
that's the problem, ma'am. You have to understand the following, Mrs. Walker, and this is what a lot of people get confused with, and even the people from the FBI and even the people from the bank, because they don't know this information. A lot of people get confused with sweepstakes and lotteries. There is a big difference between sweepstakes and there is a big difference with lotteries.
right.
Mega Millions and Powerball, you buy the numbers off the gas station. If you win, you caught all the numbers and you're selected as the big prize winner.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what happens with that? You get caught off with tax. They take the taxes out, right?
Well, yeah, of course.
Because that's exactly. Now, sweepstakes is different. Sweepstakes don't work like that. A sweepstakes is a contest handled by a private corporation, a private organization, which the private organization awards the winner, and the winner is not responsible to pay neither state or federal taxes. That's the reason that these scammers know that there is an official charge. When someone wins an award from a sweepstakes contest, they know that legally there is a registration charge that is requested by the actual winner of the award. So if you win an award over $500,000, you have to process a registration deposit. So this is what these groups of scammers, these group of crooks, they know this. They know for a fact. So this is how they take advantage of these laws and regulations. What kind of got me thinking here is, I mean, they mentioned the Mega Millions, which means they were not even that professional at all. So that could have been a red flag. But I'm not blaming you here, ma'am. I mean, if you don't know about this, it's understandable that, they took advantage of you. But effectively, if you win an award from the Mega Millions, you have to pay, they deduct the taxes, you receive the award, and that's pretty much it. if it's a sweepstakes, there's no taxes to be deducted. You just got to do the registration because you got to register the money under your name in order to be able to cash it and get an authorized certificate of registration, authorized that in following according to the Bank Secrecy Act. So,
Bank Secrecy Act? I
I
haven't
mean,
heard of that. Okay.
the Bank Secrecy Act, yeah, that's correct. So, like I said, I mean, as an attorney, I know about all of these things, and I'm here to advise you, I'm here to warn you and to guide you through. I don't know if you would like me to verify for you, Mrs. Walker, with the Gaming Control Board, if there's any sort of pending payout award or anything like that. Would you like us to check into that for you?
Well, if you want to, I guess, but they just said there was no prize. That there, if there was a prize, that we'd be informed, and we were never informed of any prize by anybody.
Yeah, I understand. And like I said, in a lot of cases, the reason this happens is because sometimes the notification letters they might try to send you, sometimes these post office guys, they're crooks also. They look into those letters and they sell information out. Information like this costs money, man.
Wow,
Which means
the mail. I can't trust my own mailman?
Ma'am, believe me, and nowadays it's 2024, ma'am. I mean, you decide who you trust, who you don't. I'm not saying that this happens directly in your mail in Texas, but this could happen from wherever place the letter is coming from. Maybe you're expecting something from Miami, and when it's going through verification in Miami, they go through X-ray. Sometimes they look into these letters, ma'am. Right now, everything is being checked out for as a national security requirement. Even letters to make sure that there's no information being sent. So when they feel like they should check something, they might check it out, and if it's some valuable information that you could get a little extra money from, your information could be sold out because it happens, ma'am, in a lot of days. Sometimes also the sweepstakes company's database, they get hacked. So they get hacked. They get in the information from the winners. Right, and when they get the information from the winners, they just sell this information out to telemarketers. In this case, your information was sold to telemarketers in Jamaica, right? So the thing here that I'm concerned of, I mean, there's people from the feds who you talk to and the police. I mean, they're telling you there's no award from a lottery contest such as Mega Millions and Powerball, but did they actually went through the sweepstakes? Because looking into sweepstakes is not as simple as just them looking into some sort of award thing and just seeing if you won or not. I mean, sweepstakes are different. They have to research to see if there's a company and if there's been an actual report sent for a winner.
No, they didn't do that. They just said there was no need because these scams happen all the time. And there was no need to do that because it was just a terrible thing that happened to us, and it was just some rotten, no good scammers that robbed us of our money, and there was never a prize. That's what they said.
Perfect. Well, Mrs. Walker, I want to do whatever you want me to do, ma'am. Like, if you want me to check things out for you, believe me, I'm not.
If you want to, that's fine. I just don't want to put you out.
No, it's part of the job. It's part of the contract we have with. And this call is recorded. This call is verified, and I'm not giving you the service I'm supposed to. We might lose our contract. Warwick and Wallace is a law firm that is owned by my father, and believe me, ma'am, I don't want to put our law firm we have a very good international name. We have offices in Doha. We have offices in London, Paris, Madrid. And I'm not going to put our name in jeopardy here for not giving you the service that it's being requested us to give. So I'm going to double check things out for you, see what's going on, if there was ever an award, if your information was stolen from somewhere. And I'm just going to need you to give me a little bit of time. I'm not going to tell you that I will have a response for you this week.
Okay.
But I will sure get back in contact with you with an update next week. And if anything, if you might have on your phone, maybe a phone number that might have stayed there, or maybe some notes, or maybe something that they might have sent you that could help us, ma'am, believe me, you're not losing anything by trying, ma'am. right?
Well, my husband was the one that was contacted. I was the one that was told to go make the wire transfer, and I'm not sure if he saved any of the numbers after he gave it to the FBI and the police. I'm not sure. And
Okay,
we
so
didn't and they said that these weren't real phone numbers anyway, and I think that they went down and you couldn't get a hold of them anymore, like I said, and they used a fake name. It's just a nightmare.
hmm okay, and this is Walker. Who was the actual winner? Was it you or your husband?
Well, they said it was my husband and that I was the beneficiary.
Okay, and what is your husband's name?
Johnny
Johnny what?
Walker.
Johnny Walker.
Yeah, John Walker.
They call John Walker. And what phone number they call him? On his cell phone?
Yeah, probably. Well, they've been, I mean, and he had to get his phone number changed 3 times. So I'm really hesitant to give it out right now because he's
No,
been
no,
really
I don't.
sick.
I mean, I don't need his.
Okay.
I don't need his phone number, Mrs.
Okay.
Walker. I'm just asking you, and I don't want to do anything against your will. Believe me, that's not who we are, ma'am. You're working.
Well, you
with a
gotta
couple
you gotta understand this. These monsters were just horrible. My husband just had brain surgery, and he is not in great shape, and he's trying to recover. And they just were just horrible, horrible people. I can't even believe how horrible they were.
I understand,
Relentless.
Mrs. Walker. And let me ask you, where did you folks took this $100,000 from? Where did this money came from?
And we have a bank account. We have a ranch. We own a ranch.
You own a ranch?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, and what I mean, this is what the money you own from you earn from your ranch?
Well, we have
Savings?
we have a business account, and I have a personal account, and Johnny has a personal account. My son has his trust fund. I just took the money out of my personal account. I didn't touch the business
Okay.
account or Johnny's account.
Okay, I understand that, ma'am. I understand. All right, well, ma'am. Listen, I'm gonna see what I can do here for you, ma'am. And believe me, we're gonna do this with our best intentions. I also do you have access to the internet?
I do.
Okay, if you have a pen and paper to write this down.
Yeah, 1 second. Hold on. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I would like to provide you with our website. Okay, but I'm gonna ask you a favor
Mm-hmm.
because you have to be smart with since you just went through a scam situation. If you forward or if you give my information out to know if anybody, they're might going to assume that this is somebody else or another fraud or something. So you have to be very meticulous, man. Okay. I want to give you my website, which is www. So if you want to go into our website, look who we are. My picture is there. We're located here at One World Trade Center, New York City, New York. This is a very big recognized building. So I just want you to understand that you're working with a real legitimate law firm. All right. What I don't want here is if you give information of who we are and, people might assume, well, you never know who they are. So I just want you to do everything against, I don't want to do anything against your will, but I want you to understand and feel safe that we're not here to harm you. We're here to help you. We're going to try to do our best to gather information. Like I said, I'm not here to promise you nothing, ma'am,
Mm-hmm.
but I can sure dig into it. So if anything crosses your mind or anything you might have there, just make sure you forward it to me and I'll see what I can do. Okay?
All right, and I'll talk to my husband this evening too.
Okay, not a problem, Mrs. Walker. I could talk to your husband too if you want me to, or if you just don't even want to bring stress to him right now. And I mean, we can handle everything private so far. I mean, because you
Well, I
also
think
remember that your family.
After we lost $100,000, I think we should both be involved in this, and that's why I want to talk to him and tell him.
Perfect. And
Okay.
I'm willing to talk to him as well.
Mm-hmm.
And listen, I'm going to tell you something. One more thing I want to tell you, Mrs.
Mm-hmm.
Walker. If there's ever a real procedure that you are involved with, you should always require somebody to send you paperwork. I mean, it doesn't have to be necessarily through the mail. If you have an email address,
Mm-hmm.
and there is an actual, I'm just giving you this as an advice for in the future.
Mm-hmm.
If anybody tells you whatever they need to tell you, or they want to give you something, well, show me some paperwork. I mean, if there's really a check, can I see the check?
Mm-hmm.
Is there any paperwork that I can see that could make me feel confident about what I'm doing, right? So that's something that, next time or if anybody calls you, you should take things that way. Ask for documentation and to ask them to send you something in writing that you can see what's going on for you to be able to feel a little bit more confident. Because just a voice over the phone and not giving you any more information, well, ma'am, you're not the first person going through something like this, or neither your family. There's thousands of cases I've seen like this, ma'am. But let's see what we can do, okay? Let's talk next week, okay? Because I have a very tied up schedule for the rest of the week.
Okay.
And as soon as I get a little space, anywhere between Tuesday, Wednesday next week, I'll be ringing a bell, okay?
All right. All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate your help, Mr. Wallace.
You're very welcome, Mrs. Walker. Have yourself a great afternoon. Bye.
You too. Bye-bye. Okay, you want to know how you know it's a scammer? He said that there are fees to win PCH. We all know there are no fees, so I'm pretty sure what's going to happen is he's going to, oh my gosh, I found out you guys have a prize from PCH, and here, pay these fees. I'm waiting for that.
International Lover, how can I help you?
Yeah, may I speak to Mason Wallace, please?
Is this Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
Let me transfer your call, ma'am. One moment.
Hello, Mrs. Walker.
Yes, that's me.
Good morning. How are you today?
I wasn't feeling too well. I was in bed when you called. I noticed you called many times. I didn't expect to hear from you until next week.
Yes, it's a matter of fact, I got you scheduled for next week. I had some cancellations, so I was thinking about going through a couple of verifications. The information I wanted to receive from you is if you had the name of the agent from the FBI who you forward the information to, and as well the name of the financial institution where you made the report from, where you actually did the wire from, so we could.
I did the wire. Something. I did the wire from our bank, Third Coast.
You did the wire from. Okay, what was the name of that bank?
Third Coast.
Let me just write this down one second. Third Coast?
Yes, Third Coast.
Okay, hold on. Third Coast. Okay, this is the bank where you handle all your business. You told me about your trust fund and everything is there with Third Coast.
Well, it's not my trust fund. It's our son's trust fund, but personal checking and business, yeah, it's all there.
Okay, perfect. So when you process the report with the bank, what exactly did you explain to the bank? Because I need to get this information straightened up properly because, like I mentioned to you before, usually financial institutions, they said there's not much they can do because obviously it has a cost. So I want to know properly exactly when you find out about there was fraud going on, what exactly did you explain to the financial institution?
Well, I told them that we received a phone call that we had won a prize and that we were supposed to pay a fee and they wanted it wire transferred. So I did it, and they said, well, since you voluntarily did it, the FDIC does not apply and we cannot recover your money because you voluntarily sent your money to these criminals.
Okay. Yeah, that's a normal protocol that they're going to tell you, and effectively it is that way. But there is a possibility to try to do something here. So I'm going to start. I have a team of 3 paralegals that work for me. Okay, and what I'm going to gather the information from you. I'm going to transfer the information to them directly, and they're going to start digging into more information. So we got Third Coast. How many branches of Third Coast are they in your location?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't keep track of that.
There's several. You usually go to the same branch.
It depends. It just depends. I'm sorry. I just don't feel well right now. I'd also like to talk to you with my husband, if that's okay. I don't know when you're going to be available.
No, that's perfect. And it's a matter of fact, I wanted to ask you if you had a chance to talk to him yesterday about this.
I told him, and he said he'd like to talk to you, but he's not here right now.
Okay, well, not a problem. Well, listen, I'm sorry if I catch you at a bad time here, Mrs. Walker. Would you prefer we discuss this at another time? I just wanted to, since I was having some time off, I said, well, let me give you a call and see if we could initiate something here so we won't be losing any time next week.
All right, well, how soon can me and my husband speak with you together? Do we have to wait till next week?
No, I mean, I could get you scheduled down for today if you give me a time.
Well, he's out delivering horses right now, so it could be later on this afternoon.
Later on this afternoon, okay. So anytime, after 4 o'clock will be good?
Well, I would think after, Maybe 2:30?
Maybe 2:30.
Yeah.
Okay, 2:30. Okay, well, not a problem. I'm gonna have you on notes. Like I said, I had some cancellations today. There's not really much movement. I was supposed to be in court earlier today, but apparently, the person who we're defending, it's not in a position of showing up today. So we had to reschedule court. I had a couple cancellations, so I have some extra time today just to at least get the information from you folks and initiate a report. Okay.
All right. All right. Yeah, when my husband gets home, we'll give you a call.
Okay, perfect. I'll be waiting. And remember, okay, I'm scheduling you after 2:30 because sometimes phone calls come. You see, I'm very punctual. Okay, so I'm telling you 2:30, and you might call in and might be busy. So, but you should be hearing from me anytime between 2:30 2:35. Okay.
All right. All right. Thank you, sir.
All right. You're welcome. Bye.
Bye-bye.